Carter. Julia Katsivo Carter. And I do apologize, Julia. I wanted to get you started a little sooner, but we needed to talk about making things easy. Anyways, Julia is going to be sharing with us today a presentation about one of my favorite topics, money. Julia, by the way, is a business coach to women. I just recently got on her email list, and she sends out these questions every week to make you think about how you can be better and do better and get better results. And I love them. Please sign up for her email list if you're not on it yet. And as I put here, I think probably most importantly, Julia just seems to be kicking butt and doing really cool, awesome stuff just all the time. I was looking for, a picture of her to put in this slide. And I was like going through her Facebook before the meeting this morning at 5 in the morning. And I was just looking at all these pictures of her with these people and doing these speeches and being on stage and all this cool stuff. So Julia, thank you for offering to share your wisdom with the group today. And over to you, everybody. Please pay close attention to Julia. She knows what's up.
Thank you so much. I do have a presentation slide. I can't hear you, Ryan.
Sorry, you should be good now to share.
Excellent. Hi, everyone. I am so glad you're here. I'm very excited. Today, we're going to talk about money. Of course, my presentation decides to do its own thing, as so often happens. So this is the thing. We're going to look at money origins, money types, and the patterns around money. And the reason why this is really important for us today is because of how money shows up personally in our lives, regardless of how many years, how many times we've done this work, or even if we teach it ourselves. Also, the thing that I think you'll be most excited about today is it's going to help you see some patterns, some types, and some origins around the clients that you already have or the ones that you do already that you are looking to attract. And so what you're going to get is awareness and clarity, and you're going to start picking up on some things that are happening for you, around you, and that you can actively tweak and change for yourself. This is the thing, regardless of where you are in your money journey. So there's some people who just absolutely have nailed it. And there are others who are still struggling. And there are others who are starting to look at their relationship with money. What I'd like for you to do is to take off your teacher hat for the next few moments. We're all experienced, we're all facilitators, trainers, whatever we are, right? Been there, done that. I'd like you to take off that hat and really just think about yourself in this moment and what it is that you want to get out of this session. So we're talking about money origins, money types, and money patterns. And one of the best ways for receiving information I have found is when we take off our, oh, I know it all. Oh, I need to show up this way or that way, and just really think about ourselves. And the thing that completely is that inner desire or fear that we have. So do take a moment and write down a question, a fear, a belief, something that only you know that you would really love to find out more about, explore, or discover when it comes to money. And take a moment and write that down for yourself. Something else that I'll ask you to do here is, as I'm speaking, we're going to do some journaling questions. I'd like you to pay attention to what's happening with your mind, meaning your thoughts and your body, and to write them down. These are really important clues that will show you how you think and how you learn and how you process information. And when we bring it into awareness, this is going to translate into anything else that you do down the line, because you're going to start picking up on how your body responds to information and how it processes it as well. Okay, we're going to start with our money blueprint origins. Now, because of our journey, we all know that, before the age of 7, we got very important and specific information from the people that we grew up with. Now, what we may not always be conscious about is how this is playing out in our day-to-day lives today. So we're going to do a little exercise here, journaling exercise, and I ask you to just be transparent with yourself. Please be transparent with yourself. This is your moment to just write down whatever comes up. So that's what I'm going to ask you to do here as I ask you a few questions so that we can see what your original money blueprint is. That is the foundations of your relationship with money, okay? So give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Excellent. Here's your first question. Tracing back to your childhood, who was your strongest influence? And how did this person or people handle their money? Next question. How did they act and what did they say about money, including how did they not act and what did they not say? As you're answering these questions, pay attention to what's happening in your body. If you're feeling something in your chest, your throat, your stomach, your legs, your shoulders, you want to pay attention to that as well, including any opposing voices that show up. And the third question, what did you take from what they did or did not do, say or did not say? Okay. Take a moment and sit back and look at what you've written. This is your story of origin, your money blueprint story. There is no right or wrong in this, it just is. Now, these are the origins. However, your current money blueprint is going to be different because as an adult, along the way, you've shifted and you've changed this. I have a really cool exercise in one of my weekly emails, and you get access to that through successfulandsmart.com. And what this will do is it'll help you see where you currently are when it comes to money, vivid image. So I do invite you, if you're interested in finding out where you are today in relation to the original blueprint that you inherited, to head over to my website and sign up for the weekly emails, okay? Okay, so ordinarily I would ask one or two people to share with us what they're finding, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna move on to money types. Now, the information I'm going to provide for you is on the different types of money types. Now, the same way we have different personalities, we also have money types, and they are broadly categorized as savers, spenders, hoarders, and martyrs. Now, this is what I'm going to ask as I speak. And as you look at the information, I would like for you to write down what comes up for you. Now, the information I am providing you is just so that you can start to pick up on patterns, start making connections, and start gaining an awareness. And I will help you integrate this information, okay? Okay, so we're going to start with savers. Savers, on the positive side, will generally save more than they spend. On the other hand, they often deny themselves or procrastinate on crucial and big ticket items. Their shopping habits include being frugal, sales, consignments, discounts, bonuses, freebies. While this is great for savings, it holds them back from charging or attracting clients willing to pay full price on big ticket items. While they overwork and undercharge, this feeds their running belief that money is hard to come by, that it must be saved, that it isn't enough, that there isn't enough money to go around, and that having money is taking from someone else. There's a lot of I can't when it comes to money. I can't charge that. I have to be realistic. I don't want to ask for that. Okay? So again, just writing down what you see, what is coming up to you, and start making some connections, allowing for it, no judgment. All right. Why are you not doing this? Nope. Let's head over to the spenders. So on the positive side, spenders have rich experiences and things of value. On the other hand, they part with money a little too easily, and especially when they feel desperate to feel something. Their shopping habits include quick purchase decisions, expensive items, giving to others and denying themselves, over responsibility for others' financial situations. While this is great for buying based on value, when their own items don't sell, they take it as a personal reflection of their own value. While they overextend themselves and experience a lot of wasted time, this cements the belief that they're not of value because no one is willing to pay, and that they aren't members of or going to achieve the status of members of those who've made it. There's a lot of, I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I try and try and try, and I still don't make it. I wish someone would give me the job, the money, the opportunity, whatever it is that is missing that it seems that your money can't seem to buy. Okay, so just making observations here. Number 3 is hoarders. On the positive side, hoarders do not waste money. On the other hand, they will keep what technically doesn't belong with them anymore. Either there's no space, it's done its work, or it should be given or sold to someone else. They will keep it. Their shopping habits are pretty much like savers, right? So we have the sales, consignments, discounts, bonuses, freebies, sidewalk donations, auctions, and they are amazing for savings and finding treasures for next to nothing. However, this holds them back from believing in their value and prices, and they don't bother selling or marketing at all. While they overthink and hold on to everything they have for dear life, they attract people who are fearful and fearful to part with money, or those who are demanding and want bonuses after bonuses and discounts. There's a lot of small thinking, indecision, back and forth, a separate them versus us mentality around money and opportunities. So again, as you're taking in this information, it just is. This is not something to start assigning judgment on, but just start picking up on what you're seeing here and writing it down. Martyrs. On the positive side, martyrs are the first ones to help. On the other hand, they are the first ones to help or give more than they technically can afford, even to their own detriment. So their shopping habits include buying things for others based on real or perceived needs, and also to feel good about themselves and the reaction they expect from others. As long as they think the purchase will make them happy or make the other person happy, there is no price point too great. While this is great for helping people out of bad situations or giving others great experiences, their position of power comes from the giving away of money. So asking for it, even in an objective sale, is like begging for money. So while they make shortcuts to straight up, marketing and selling methods, they believe they're undeserving of asking or receiving the money, and they are uncomfortable with that relationship being that way. And this feeds the belief that money is only useful if it's given away or used to build up someone else. So valuable things, valuable courses, valuable services and products are given away for little or free. And they also don't take real ownership of how they want to make their money. And the common mantras around this is, that's just the reality. It's time to face reality. This is my reality. Okay, I have a couple of journaling questions for you. Thinking back to your strongest childhood experience, drawing back to our very first exercise, what money type or types did this person or people embody? Question number 2, what have you identified as your money type or money types? I say money types because you may have 1, 2, 3 of them. I embody 3. I got all 3 from both my parents. And question number 3, what is your customer's money type or money types? Your current clients. Okay. What are you starting to see in terms of connections here? What are you starting to pick up on? If anyone would love to share. Oh, Jessica, yes, go ahead, please.
Well, that my parents, one was a spender, one was a saver, and that's how I happen to categorize my clients as well. The same, identical.
Yep, I love it. Yeah, spenders and savers tend to marry each other. What I got was savers, spenders, and martyrs. And they all have their positive, they all have their negative. It's just finding that balance and then deciding what you want to be for yourself. Vaish, go ahead.
Yeah, so many aha moments. What came up for me is so I, one of my parents spender, my dad spender, and my mom is a mix of hoarder and saver. And I realized one of the things that we used to do when I was a child, we used to go out and eat often, which was my dad's choice. And I realized over the last few years I've been doing the same thing, and that kind of was bothering me. with the credit card bills because that was maximum. And now I'm like, okay, now I get it.
Yes, yes, keep staying open to that and making those connections as you go along. I believe you me, I completely understand where you're coming from. Thank you so much for your share. Tree?
Um, I got most effective from my mother, which is she's the server. But I got effect lightly from my dad as well. He's the spender holder. And my money type is kind of like mixed between them. And I recognize that when you're asking the question and the answers, I recognize that I always I like I always feel personally that money is hard to earn, it's hard to find. And I think that's one of the limiting beliefs that struggle me in terms of like getting money and building business or whatever. And I just realized that sometimes I really feel confused and feel guilty when I spend on something that like at some point I'm very confused what I need to choose, like whether should I buy it or not. I always asking my question about that. And I cannot always find the firm answer. Like I always confused. Yeah. So that's something that I found.
Yeah, and now it makes sense, right? Like it's starting to make sense. Yeah, thank you. Maria?
So mine was my mom and my stepdad, who I lived with, were definitely savers and hoarders. My dad was definitely a spender. And I noticed that like I have all three, but like I like the spender better than I like the saver. But I feel like, when I was a kid, I always liked that he would spend more versus my parents. I thought that they were always being cheap and stuff. And so then I feel like it's like pushed me towards wanting to be a spender, but still having those values of like, oh, but I need to save because like, what if it doesn't come back or whatever? So it's kind of like that, like pull between them.
It is, isn't it? But now with that awareness, you can really you can decide for yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you want to go, slowly but surely, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Liza?
I'm all the way a martyr. So my mom is a martyr spender. My dad is a martyr saver. And my blueprint is a martyr spender. And my clients are martyrs. So I'm hoping they're spenders.
Right?
So I'm trying to get more of that and kind of balance this out.
Yeah, and you're well on the way. It's awareness, right? It's just seeing things and saying, oh, I'm attracting what I grew up with. And that's how we all start, you know? Awesome.
Yeah, my dad had 8 kids. So he's always thinking like, oh, I'm only working because I have 8 kids. You know, this is all for my kids. And my mom, she became a single mom and she moved to the US. And so she became the same way as my dad, but this time she spends more.
Right. Yeah. And how things just work out that you end up swinging on that pendulum. Yes. 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 Thank you.
Thank you for this.
Thank you. Julia.
Hello. So yeah, I'm on the same boat as everyone else. Very, very powerful stuff. What I really love is just like the fact I'm thinking about money in a way I never have before. I definitely tend to be, I have the characteristics of a saver, but also a spender. So I'm both. And my question was, so I noticed that my mom was a saver and my grandma's a spender. My dad wasn't really in the picture. So is that possibly why I'm both? Do we tend to take on like the traits of our parents? I wasn't sure if that was clarified earlier.
Right. That really is what happens. Yes. And what you notice sometimes is that like will marry like. So you'll have like maybe a spender marry a spender, and other times likes will marry their opposites, which is why a lot of times we have a spender and a saver come together and not even realize that that's what they're doing. So you'll have that one parent who's like, no, 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 we got to save for the future. And then you've got the other parent who's like, here, take this $5 and go knock yourself out with something else out there. And then you start to see these same patterns within yourself. And the reason why we do this exercise is because sometimes we don't understand why we end up in the same boat, why even after all that work that we end up seeing things that we don't realize. So this is awareness and just really beginning to explore that relationship. Thank you. Tina.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too noisy here. I'll try to be quick. So my mom was a martyr. My father was a spender. And I think I'm a mixture of martyr, spender, saver. I don't know where I got the saver part from, but I have noticed a lot lately, or not, I've noticed it or brought attention to the fact that I always say, oh, I can't afford it, when I actually can. And so I've been trying to change the dialogue around to say, no, it's not that I can't afford it. Is it important enough for me to spend this money on it? So I've been trying to reframe the way that that belief that I can't afford it. And it's helped me kind of, buy things that are really of essence and important to me, and let the other stuff go and change that dialogue.
And thank you so much for your share. And one of the things that is so important about what you said is, the part of you that's a martyr, sometimes when we see the way our parents spent, we start to make our own decisions about how we would rather spend, right? So sometimes if you're with a spender and you're really uncomfortable, somewhere in you, you're like, I'm just gonna save everything I get. And even you don't realize that. It's just later on in life, you realize you're kind of holding on to money a little bit more. And how we can start to adjust that is by also reminding ourselves why we are the way we are. So for example, we might say to ourselves during a difficult moment, I get why you want to hold on to this money. We saw what we saw, but this time it's a little bit different. This is why we're making this purchase, or this is why we're not making this purchase. Whatever it is, just making that connection to what you grew up seeing and what you grew up hearing. Because the inner child is this person who wants to know why, right? Like we know how kids are, why? And if we don't connect with that part, then it doesn't matter what decision you come up with, that inner child is just going to self-sabotage. They'll be like, I don't know why you're spending. You didn't explain it to me. You didn't make the connection for me. So this is a really great way of just connecting, just going back and connecting and connecting and connecting. Yes, thank you. Alana.
Yeah, I think this exercise for me really clarified what I used to be, and and sort of like where I'm at now is I don't even know. Like I used to be a martyr. In my old business, I would buy things that weren't even, just because I didn't want to hurt someone's feelings, right? So I would like buy inventory for my store even though I didn't like it. I would buy a service someone was selling me even though I was like, I don't really need this, but I'll spend the money anyway. And I've completely shifted from that. Like I don't even identify with the martyr anymore. But now I'm like, I don't know what I am. I can't really like pinpoint what I am now.
It's a great place to be. One thing I would encourage you to do is the exercise I was talking about is the one that shows you where you are now. Mm-hmm. So we have the origins, but then we've also formulated our own ideas. Do that exercise. It'll really help. And again, not knowing is a great place to start, because you can only know after that. You can only know. It's a great place to start. Okay. I want us to start putting this information together and to integrate it. So what I'll do is I'll ask you to go back to that intention that you wrote down. Remember the very beginning when we started, I asked you what you wanted to get out, what that intention was. So I'd like you to look at that intention. And then for the next minute or so, taking into account what's come up for you, what you've uncovered, discovered, affirmed, confirmed, whatever the case may be, I'd like for you to write yourself a love letter and include what you acknowledge and would like to do next.
Can you repeat the beginning of the love letter before acknowledging?
Yes.
please?
So, yeah. So, said another way, it's for the love letter for yourself, taking into consideration your intention, what you started off with. Um, Share with yourself what you've uncovered, say what needs to be said and what you promise yourself moving forward, including your next action step. Okay. We're going to look up and take a deep breath. And what I'll ask you to do now is with, your sound muted, I would like you to read out loud what you've written for yourself. Now here's where it's key, is to read it slowly and take in the words and pay attention to how this feels in your body. All right, if you need to, cover the screen while you do this, knock yourself out. This is just for you. We want this read out loud. It's not enough to just read it in your head. Okay. Thank you. Okay. And then to close up here, what we're going to do is, if it's okay with you, please raise your hand and you're going to share with all of us your solemn promise to yourself, that one action step that you've decided that you're going to take, regardless of what it is. No explanations. We don't want any explanations, no justifications, nothing. You're just sharing out loud what you've committed. Jessica.
Well, my question or intention was, how will I manage my incredible income? And the first thing that came to mind was, I will buy a house. That's it. And it's, it is so funny. I will buy a house is the full, and the feeling is comical.
I will buy a house, and so it is, Jessica, and so it is. Thank you. Lisa.
Just keep going.
Just keep going, Lisa, and so it is. Thank you. Ryan.
I am going to, in my mind and on paper, design the mindset of the perfect, from what I've learned from your presentations, of my ideal client.
You will design your ideal client, and so it is, Ryan. Thank you. Liza.
The moment you think it, act right away. I've done it in my personal life, my skincare, and everything else moving forward.
The moment you think it, act on it right away, Liza. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Zanny, yours is to stay consistent. Thank you. And so it is. It is 11, so I will pass it on to Ryan. Of course, this is one of my most favorite topics, and I would just love to keep talking about this and hearing what it is that you have to say. Ryan, thank you.
You're most welcome. And thank you, Julia. What a lovely, lovely, lovely presentation. Thank you for doing that. And okay, so I'm going to quickly wrap up. And then I think what I'm going to do is, Julia, are you going to stick around a little bit and chit chat with people if they want to chit chat with you about what they've learned?
Yeah, let's stick around and chit chat.
Okay, so very good. So I have to, after I wrap up, I have to hop off because literally the next 2 hours is the only 2 hours this week I have to go to the grocery store. So while you guys talk about money, I will be buying groceries. However, I just want to thank you guys. I think this was a very successful meeting today. In fact, I know it was. I'm really grateful for all the big wins that you guys shared and for all the learnings that we've had here. So congratulations to all of you. I'm very excited, for everything that you guys are doing and for everything that you're going to be doing. And let's set our sights high and let's set our aspirations high and let's do really big, cool stuff so we can all come back here every week and talk about all the butt that we're kicking. And, not necessarily, it doesn't need to be these, high dollar sales, although those are kind of some of my favorite things. But let's keep kicking butt. Let's keep, empowering others and thriving. And so I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say and share next week on Thursday at 9:30 a.m. If anybody needs or wants anything from me, just send me an instant message. I'm always around. And so in a moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make Julia, in fact, the host of the meeting, and I'm going to log off, but you guys can keep chatting, keep using the Zoom room as long as you want. If I didn't literally have to go to the grocery store, I would stick around and chat with you guys too, but I must. So that's it for now. So let me know if you need anything. For those of you that are guests this week, thank you for being here, and I hope you continue to return. And that's it for me. So back to you, Julia. I'm going to make you the host. And everybody, if you need to hop off, if you need to go, don't worry, go. I'm going to stop the recording. But if you want to stick around and chat with Julia about money and other stuff, please do so as well. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, everybody. That's it for me.
Thank you, Ryan.